Hi, my name's Ilana. I'm the founder of INC Capital, where we advise our clients on global citizenship and residency by investment solutions. I want to talk a little bit more about the difference between temporary residency permits, permanent residency permits, and citizenship, specifically related to investor visa, so golden visa type investments, and in a European context, because we can't possibly cover the whole world in a few minutes video. We'll keep on talking about this, so do subscribe to the channel. You'll pick up a lot of information about other countries a little bit further down the line. But if we look at specifically what happens in Europe, when you make a golden visa investment in a country like Portugal or Italy, for instance, you get your first residency permit granted for 2 years. That is then a permit that can be renewed every 2 years in the case of Portugal, or every 3 years in the case of Italy, until after 5 years of holding residency, you are allowed to apply for permanent residency. Now, once you have permanent residency, that means that your residency status is granted for the next 5 years, provided that you maintain the underlying investment as per the specific program. So in the case of Portugal, you've made an investment, you don't have to maintain the investment. But in the case of Italy, you have to maintain the investment and you actually have to physically live in the country to maintain the benefit. But what does that actually give you? So a residency card gives you visa-free access to the rest of the Schengen area. It gives you the right to live in that country that granted you the residency card. So remember, we're talking about investor visas. This is different from other visas where you physically relocate and live in a country. We're talking about investor visas specifically. So a permanent residency permit in this case gives you as well the benefit to live in that particular country. So let's just use Portugal as an example. I live in Portugal at the moment. And once I get my permanent residency status in Portugal, I have the right to live in Portugal and to spend all my time in Portugal. I get visa-free access to the rest of the Schengen, so I can travel, have access, can spend up to 90 days in any other European country, while Portugal is my home base. I still have my South African passport, which means that if I spend 90 days in any other European country and I don't want to come back thereafter to Portugal, which granted me my residency, I will have to return to South Africa or to any other country in the world that's not part of the Schengen or part of the European Union. So you get a lot of benefits in terms of traveling and visiting, but my Portugal residency card does not give me the right to physically relocate and permanently live in Italy or Malta or Greece or one of the other European countries. It is only once you have qualified for citizenship of the country that you invested in and where you followed the temporary residency to permanent residency to citizenship application route, where you will hold European citizenship. So if you, for instance, invested in Italy, you lived there for 10 years, you went from temporary residency to permanent residency to speaking proper Italian to making your application, and you have an Italian passport. At that point, you are then considered a European citizen. Then you can use your citizenship of Italy to relocate and physically live in another European country. So just to recap, temporary residency has to continuously be renewed until you receive permanent residency. Permanent residency typically have to maintain for a period of time. While you have residency of a European country, you only have the right to permanently live and in some cases work in that particular country. And it is only after 5 or 7 or 10 years, depending on the country, when you have received your citizenship that you become a European citizen and you can then live and work anywhere else in Europe. If you like this information or you'd like to ask me a few questions to see what your specific situation is, please do drop a question below, make an appointment through the channel. There's some links in the video as well. And do subscribe to the channel. We can stay in touch and you can follow us for more information. Thank you.